Just like many other action-packed movies, the Transformers series are filled with many dangerous explosive stunts. To get closer to the action, videographers use the Baybuster, a customized stunt car with an external cage that clears other vehicles during car flips. They also use a modified go-kart for agile navigation through the debris. Among the riskiest feats accomplished in the series was the daring leap from the Trump Tower. Skilled wingsuit jumpers were responsible for executing the stunt, requiring meticulous planning to ensure a smooth glide through the urban landscape. During the filming of Rise of the Beasts, Stephen Cappell Jr. disclosed a gripping incident in which Anthony Ramos inadvertently caught fire.
We're running in this one shootout scene in this museum. Anthony Ramos' coat caught on fire as he was dodging the bullets and on his knees. So that was a scary moment. He didn't even notice it, thank God, but the rest of the cast and crew did. We saw his starter jacket caught on fire once and then it went out and we're all like, did we see that? So it's actually used in the film because it was the best take. But yeah, that was pretty scary.
Among the most remarkable moments captured behind the scenes is the dramatic scene of a bus exploding on a highway through the clever use of pyrotechnics. The bus is meticulously prepared to split in half upon the detonation, resulting in a strikingly clean and impactful cut across the vehicle. In certain chase scenes, trucks are coated in blue paint. These trucks forcefully crash into cars on the road, and in the editing process, they are substituted with the actual Transformers themselves. As with most sci-fi action films, CGI is necessary throughout the entire movie, especially when the starring role is played by something that does not exist. The design team faced a challenge while working on the 1980s prequel, as they couldn't simply utilize the Transformers from the 21st century films. Instead, they embarked on a fresh approach, drawing inspiration from the original toys and cartoons of that era, as well as incorporating the graphics and technology reminiscent of the 80s. This revamping or devamping was also necessary for the aesthetics of the holograms, the HUD vision, and the Autobots' semi-sentient computer system. An average of over 1,300 shots was required, with 896 shots created by MPC and 450 shots created by Weta Digital. They spent 9 months, which is quite a short amount of time for work of this complexity. The most challenging sequence is a full CG shot in the end battle that is 23 seconds long. To get it through animation, it was split across 6 different animators. For Apple Inc. and Primal, Weta Digital focused more on the shoulders and face. Since the shoulders had single rigid metallic domes, there was no room for faking malleability. So they essentially disconnect them from the arms to manipulate them appropriately, given each a type of action. Nearly 1,000 parts were animated individually for the exosuit of Noah. For the transformation process, they had to deconstruct the exosuit piece by piece, then find ways to meaningfully manifest, grow, extrude, and lock them into place. Anthony Ramos's performance guided the timing and focus of the transformation, enhancing viewer attention and allowing strategic placement of other elements. Every fight scene involved intricate animation, due to each Transformer's distinct fighting style, so fight scenes are choreographed with real fighters before CGI work begins. Considerable effort is devoted to the creation of the Transformers. At times, the actors would engage in conversations with objects like a tennis ball or a pole featuring a Transformer's face. To reduce the reliance on CGI, certain robots are physically constructed using foam or fiberglass, although they are not actual functioning robots. This approach aids the team in minimizing the amount of CGI required. The Transformers series are renowned for their colossal Autobots colliding with buildings. To create such captivating experience, achieving the perfect sound becomes crucial. A special team used car parts and a bunch of metal pieces to create Foley sounds. Foley sounds are any sounds based on a character's interactions and movements. Usually that means human characters, but it can also apply to the sounds of animals, and in this case big metallic creatures. Like in the case of Bumblebee, interesting objects such as an old lawnmower riding over a car door and a seat cushion hit were used to create the sound of Bumblebee sitting on a couch. Or like in the case of Megatron, the team used a collision of metallic objects to create the sound of Megatron transforming. Smacking metal sounds are much louder than smacking flesh. If it's too loud, the audience might be displeased. So for fight scenes, re-recording mixers makes punches of the winning Autobot to be audibly louder, more intense, and heavier than the losing Autobot. In the first Transformers film, Resignation Jazz was a Pontiac Solstice, even though he was originally a Porsche 959. And that's because Porsche was strictly against any video games or movies mocking the Porsche brand. But now Porsche has made a notable appearance in the Transformers movie, featuring a renowned car that becomes a heroic figure known as Mirage. The Carrera RS 3.8, of which only 55 units were ever produced, holds a place of rarity among the various 911 models. Given their scarcity, Porsche opted not to employ any original cars during the film production. Instead, 5 specially crafted cars were constructed to replicate the external appearance of the 964 model. One was utilized to capture engine sounds for accuracy. One underwent modifications to achieve higher speeds while moving in reverse. Another car was specifically designated for stunt sequences, while an additional 911 was entirely controlled from outside the driver's cabin. Capturing natural facial expressions for the robots proved to be challenging. To enhance authenticity, the actors' facial expressions were recorded while they voiced their respective characters.
You defend my family, or die. I'm out of ammo!